self-reflection is today's topic on Martini and Brands. Hopefully my friend doesn't call me corny, because now you know who you're listening to.
No, let me help her out. This is Brandi.
And this is Martina.
And collectively we make up Martini and Brands. We thank you for listening.
I know. I'm excited. Thank you for everyone listening and your support. I know our biggest support is our friends, and without our friends, where would we be? Like, you guys are dope. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, friends are definitely the family that we choose for ourselves. I am worn out. LA is crazy. We are super overpopulated. But I'm never going to complain about overpopulation. I think that we just need to learn to live from the land a bit better and stop letting them like colonize us in these inner cities and building these high rises. Like, we got to spread out, like back all over the land and really get nitty gritty. I really would love, before I pass, to create a village, my own colony that like loves the land. We climb trees, we eat fruit.
There's definitely land like that harvest, in California.
We have great sex. Great sex. We might even commingle amongst the village. It's okay. It's no rules here. Like, town. Call us a cult. I don't give a shit what you call it.
What you call it, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but
happy. Living good. I want that. Tina, what?
She's like, we're gonna have a. I'm like, that sounds like Solomon Gomorrah. She's trying to make a conversation.
No, I'm not. No. See, this is where you get misunderstood. Those are the lines of things that you've already created in your mind of what this type of life looks like. Don't create it. Land, own everything that we have. Own our community. Own whatever we put in that community. Own whatever rights and rules and decisions we choose to make for our living and our choosing. Like, real talk, going off the grid. Real talk, I always talk about cheating is made up on many levels. Yes, there are people who are going to make great platforms about being committed and telling the truth and honesty. And you had brought up this idea of kindness, this overall level out of one of the books you read. It said that there was, this ideology behind fairness.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And what was that? The 41, what is it called?
48 Laws of Power.
Of Power. I think it was from that book that you referenced. And it was like this idea of fairness. Because I remember saying, what is fair? And our girlfriend was like, what is fair? Like,
and she's a Libra too, because we feel strong about fairness.
Yeah, and it's made up. Be fair. What's the circumstance?
Yeah, I guess everything is circumstantial. But to a Libra, we're the
and even
judges.
if it's not circumstantial, then it is on one level of your feelings.
Well, you got to take your feelings out of it. We always go
Some
back
people
to that.
don't. It's hard. It's hard. Even me knowing that and telling myself that every single day, like, fuck your feelings, B. I wake up, that's like one of my daily affirmations, like, fuck your feelings. Telling me to fuck my feelings, I have to stop overthinking how somebody's gonna portray me.
Like, the biggest issue that my father has with me is that he's like, why do you talk to those people? I try to keep you away from those people, but your mom always exposed them. She always brought you around them people. It's like, he really don't like his family, but it's like, I love my family. Like, what? We're all fucked up in our own little way. Yeah. We all have our weird things that we don't agree with. But at the end of the day, that is my family. And if they're doing something that I don't agree with, I don't give a shit.
It is self-reflection. It is his relationship with them. He has to realize that the relationship he has is not the same that you have encountered.
Right.
But I get it. My relationship with my grandmother is so up and down. But it gives me... I'm not a label person. I try so hard, and I don't even like the word trying. I work towards realizing labels are something else you need to let go. Self-reflection. So I don't like to claim anxiety, but my grandmother gives me... Initial ice is hard. Once we get into conversation and engage, I enjoy her company. It's just her values and view. I don't even know her values and views, because what she gives off is enough. You can't even get down to the core, because it's like sometimes she's so cold. she has this false idea of how she feels my dad was in our life, things that are made up. And it's like, you can't make those up because you're the mother. Your relationship, your everything you had with daddy is completely different from my relationship. He was my father. He helped life with the sperm he carried. You know what I mean? Like, so how I view him and how I would want him to be reflected in my life is not going to be how you saw your son, you know?
Yeah. As moms of sons, it's like, that's my baby. That's my baby. Can't nobody tell me
I
about
even
my
checked
baby.
my sister when she was here because Paxton went in the bathroom and grabbed her bracelet. She left them on the counter. And he goes and gets it from the bathroom and comes in the room and was like, look, Mom, it's so pretty. It's Auntie's. And I was like, go put it back. I said, don't touch other people's things. So her not knowing this conversation just transpired in the room. On his way out the door, mind you, I live in a very small 3-bedroom, little apartment style. He comes out and Brianna was walking out of the bathroom. So she's in the common area and she looks down and he has the bracelet walking to the bathroom to put it back. And she was like, what are you doing with that? Don't touch things that don't belong to you. And I
just
went,
said that.
And because I had just told him, I snapped back at her and was like, don't talk to my baby like that. I did, and I laughed. Because I'm like, I don't want to ever make anybody in my village who's really in my village, who helps me with my children, who knows my children, who's with them, to speak up.
Well, then, I mean, she's their aunt. Even though she lives far away, she may feel like she's entitled to speak to your children in that manner.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
I'm the elder. I'm your auntie.
Yes, and you're right. And my self-realization in that was I was offended when she said something to him immediately. Like,
yeah, because you're Mama Bear.
Yeah, so I got offended immediately. And then we got into like a little spat on Sunday. So say this bracelet thing happened. I can't even remember. Like on Friday, Saturday. I don't remember. So we got into a spat on Sunday and she brought it up in the argument. Like,
so she reaching first of all.
She said something about it and I was like, oh, that bothered you? And she was like, yeah, it bothered the fuck out of me. Like, and I was like, okay, so I always, when people say things to me that hurt my feelings, that fuck me up to the core, self-realization, I tell you, I always go to sleep on it. I always go to sleep on it. We just had a talk. Martina had come over and was like, oh, I want to throw an event. And, you know, it was kind of like a loose idea. And she always goes back to, I am like a lawyer. I'm like, you have to bring me everything.
I have great ideas. I have no execution.
No execution. None. And for me, that is a thinker like a lawyer.
And that's where my friend comes in.
I'm like, listen, did you kill the bitch? Okay, you killed her. Where did you kill her at? Okay, and what did you use? And the weapon is where? What was you thinking? Let's go back. What did you have on? Did you touch any? Who did you talk? I'm going to go through everything. So when you talk to this person, what did you talk about? Sometimes when I ask Ian questions, he'd be like, you're a goddamn detective.
Well, shit, you need a bitch like that in your life. You
like,
need that.
He'd be like, you get from that one question to a whole nother question. And I do in a heartbeat.
You need that.
I'll think like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So what did you say prior to that? You know?
So she's breaking it down.
Breaking it all the way down. So I got offended. So I had to self-reflect when I went to sleep, like, why did I get offended? One, because I know my child is always doing something. And as the mother of a child who is always doing something, you get tired of trying to explain it. Even when he explains it, because he's just going to be like, yo, I didn't think nothing of it. I grabbed your bracelet because I liked it.
Right. I mean, for kids, it's very simple.
That's why, you know, and I'm trying to get him to understand, like, Paxton, you can't touch other people's things. Leave it alone. Give people personal space. Get out of people's personal space. Don't, you know. So I was offended because it flusters me. It frustrates me as a parent.
It went two ways. Your sister could have been like, oh, you like my bracelet? Why do you like it? She didn't have to take offense to it either.
And
you know what I mean? It could have went two ways.
She said, what are you doing with this?
She could have embraced it. Like, what is it that you like about it? What is it that intrigues you about it? Instead of, you know, like, don't touch my shit.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
And it just set me off because I just had the conversation with him. So as his mother, I'm on it. I saw it immediately. I said, that's not yours, Paxton. Great that you like it. It is pretty. Go put it back where you got it from. And he was on his way out the door to the bathroom. She just so happened you know? So I guess the self-reflection is for me as a parent. I'm always hard on myself. I am. I'm always like, I want these certain type of kids. And then the yin and the yang wants this certain type of kid. And then this other side of me wants these kids that are just comfortable being them, like unapologetically you. Mm-hmm. So that realm in the middle.
That's self-reflection. That's what you want for yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People that accept me unapologetically. Fuck it. This is who I am. Your sister. That's why you respect her. She's a fucking asshole.
She's an asshole.
Guess what? I respect
and
that
she's
shit.
always been since birth. Yo, like, listen to me. She's been a cold piece of work since birth. Mm-hmm. And she came before me.
And then that's the thing.
She's 2 years older than me. So, just when I entered into the picture, she's always been a
hell,
force.
She probably got some resentment against you. Like, life was good until you came around. You have no idea.
You better not. Get out of here. At 2, you are selfish if you look at what? You're only
People
2.
have impeccable memories.
Yeah, they do.
My son's father has a crazy memory. He'll remember things I'm like,
what?
How do you remember that? He'll
things.
Remember the feelings. He'll remember what was around. He'll remember details.
And that just probably shows you that he's always going to be not a hopeless romantic, but somebody who's always searching for that feeling of like comfortability and like love. When you remember things like that, like you remember smells and because there's certain things that touch me in ways that lift every hair on my body, and it could be something as small as a scent, and I remember how you looked through the glue, you know what I mean, like something. But I'm always a person, I am a lover down to the core. Like, I want everything to be kumbaya and pies, you know what I mean, the cookie sharing it. We love, and I think that's why
you're so passionate about communal village.
So it touches my core. I'm so emotional. I cry on the littlest of things, and I think I cry so much because I'm so emotionally connected to many things. Like, it's crazy the level of energy things will impact me and touch my soul. So I feel like I carry so much like love energy and just like that.
I feel like you're always telling me about something you seen on the news and you was crying.
I'm
like, my friend
crying.
She's like, I seen this on the news and I was crying. But I get it, especially when it's like a mom on TV and she's like pouring her soul out. Like, I can't, that's touching.
Yeah, that's how I know the news is part of a whole bigger plot, Truman Show shit. Because sometimes as people, I'm like, when you hear some of the things you hear and you see on the land, we don't stop. We never stop. And some of these things should make us stop. Like, we are, it's like a branch being ripped off from a tree that we're all hanging on to. You have to stop. Like, the southwest end of the tree just lost some limbs. Let's take a moment to repair. Let's stop. Our tree needs help. Yeah. And we don't look at it like that.
No,
and
we just move.
We like, move.
Well, what's the next thing that needs to intrigue our attention?
Yep. And things they do, they fuck me up. But I always have to self-reflect when my friends tell me something I don't like, or I do something I didn't like, or I conducted myself in the manner because of whatever character I was in, because you're made up of multiple characters. You are. I always go to sleep at night and think about almost every possibility. That's why I'm an overthinker. That's why I'm so literal. And I said that earlier, like, it kind of hurts my feelings sometimes when people are like, you're so literal, because then I'm like, well, damn, if they think I'm literal, do they really see that fun, cool side of Brandi, or do they
fuck what they think? Like, they need to see the value in
I told you that's something that I struggle with. I struggle with. Listen to what I said in this talk. My nature, I cry on everything. My nature is built up with so much love, so much communal effort, so much energy base, right? So I'm always like, if people don't physically connect with you, they don't see your sheer energy. There's some blockage. It's like using a condom.
But that's still not their problem.
It's not.
They don't.
I get that.
That's still not your problem. I said that wrong. That's still not their. That is still not your problem that they don't see your value.
Your value. I totally understand that because I still will go at things, but there's certain things where I'm just like, okay, don't be so literal, Brandi. Like, I have to tell myself, like, it's cool to be literal, but only do it in your life. Don't do it in other people's life.
But maybe that's what that other person needs. Like what you said to me, like we've been friends for like, I don't know, 20 years. I see the value in you. So it's like, if you're telling me that, Martina, stop planning for the worst, I'm going to take what you say and like, yo, Martina, why are you planning for, like, take value in what you're saying because there's a reason that you're saying it. Because I lack somewhere, you're strong somewhere.
You're sorry. And so I get that, but then we allow that balance to come in. What I'm saying is like, I am literal with things on how I expect things to be around the house. And I have to come to the realization, like, the people that I live with don't uphold that same level of value of placement of things, right? But I'm so literal that I will freak out about it. My whole demeanor, my character is off because I'm like, why?
Don't they get
no wire hanger? You know what I mean? Like, I go mommy dearest mode, and I'm like, yo, you only live your life, Brandi. So when you are amongst the house, when you are doing things, keep things as you like, but respect everybody else's flow in their system. And that's where my literal comes in, and I'm like, I need to self-reflect. I need to do work. Be literal about my shit. If I'm literal about my shit, like I want everybody else's shit to be, I would have Oprah in my call log right now because she would respect the nature and the human being that the force that I am. What?
Would you have Oprah? What
Probably.
if Oprah didn't see your vision?
It doesn't matter if she doesn't see my vision. She would just be a person that I know at any cost gets what she wants, period. Not what she thinks she needs, not what somebody told her to go and gain, what she wants. Like, I feel like she finds every avenue of opportunity that builds her brand, her. So you need entities like that around you to keep you just fluid and being great. You have to surround yourself amongst people. Like, that would be levels. Like, right now, you already know I'm all about building.
As it sound is birds of a feather.
Birds of a feather flock together. But you already know I'm about building my community. I'm so particular about who I follow on Instagram and details like that because I'm like, I'm thinking so long term. I'm thinking 5 years down the road when my production company and my entertainment company is where it needs to be on throwing events, that I've made all these connections of all these people that are from the land as I, that share those same core values, like, that I know your struggle. Shit, you've been to jail. You didn't got in trouble.
I mean, it's building your tribe. You don't want to build your tribe with, I mean, you do need some opposing views
you
to
need
build
everything.
Your tribe, but for sure, I mean.
You need everything, but it is a whole village. So I would hope one day, I hate to see them go sometimes, and hate is a strong word. My heart breaks when people die. Do you know the first thing I think of is like, I didn't get the chance to meet them. That's how I think. Swear. Some people get affected, like when Whitney died, and they're like, Whitney God, her voice was beautiful, her story touched my life, and I'm like, fuck.
That's how I feel about Prince and Michael Jackson. Like, I didn't get to see them in concert. Like, I hear stories about Prince working at the station. I'm like, fuck, I didn't get that.
Do you know how good it would have felt to, like, make Aretha a plate of food and her being like, this is good, girl. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? So there are ones that are on my list. Like, Shaka is up there because I want to know her story. She just is bad to me. Like, I love
Diana Ross's story. I think she's so
I love
dope.
why I like her too. And you know, I like her because she got hella kids. And I like any woman that can have hella kids. What's more than hella? 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have 3.
So for the record, I don't have hella kids, so people be like, "Oh, she got a gang of kids."
She
No,
got
I got
gang.
2.
She got a gang of kids, and you don't have to listen to people's overrated opinions on, ooh, your kids is bad. Ooh, I want, what I want? Give me hella bad kids that grow up and be the best droppings of seeds that they can be, planting flowers that are like in abundance of beauty and glory. Yep. So I want hella bad kids. Fuck what y'all talking about.
Who says
that? And love it. These beautiful black babies. I even don't like the term black sometimes, but the real natives of the land, the landowners, all this pre-century 1800. No, we talking before that. We talking birth off the whatever you feel, the tree of life. You came from, you evolved from monkeys. Even the monkeys was the darkest of monkeys. I bought some grapes last night at the market. Black grapes.
Are they sweet?
Bomb. Go into the fridge and eat one. Eat a bunch before you go. And I laughed because I said, okay, out of red, out of green, out of purple, out of cherry, whatever color grapes you got. Okay, pink, pinkish red, rose grape. I don't care.
So literally, the blacker the berry, the sweeter
the black grapes are amazing.
The sweeter
right?
the juice.
The black of everything is amazing. And it's like, if that's the name you want to give it, the black. Self-realization 101. Stop looking to be validated. Realize that. Realize like, yo, I don't need you to even want to respect me. You're going to have to. Fuck all of that. Everything you own is mine. We are the real owners of everything that you see.
Self-realization. We need to realize that.
I watched the comedy show. You know why I love comedy? Because comedy is almost one of the only mainstream acts or whatever category it's going to fall in that still gives you 100% the truth. And that's why it's comedy, because it hits you to the core where you know that shit is funny because it's real as fuck. Right? I watched a comedian that was like,
what comedian?
I don't remember. I've been watching so many on it. I watch all of them.
Okay.
All of them pop up on Netflix. And I have to be better about taking notes, who said what. But some modern day person was like, Jewish. They were like, ishism on anything is made the fuck up.
Ishism?
It like ish, like an ish. ISH.
Oh, like
So,
5-ish?
5-ish. I'm 5-ish. Nigga, are you 5 or you 6? Right?
I'll be there around 2-ish.
Right? So nobody calls themselves Jew anymore. I am a Jew. You know why? Because they're not the Jews. And it would be blasphemy respecting your God or whoever to lie to yourself to say, I am the real Jew of the land. Even this colony of people that are like, we talked about it. There's like some Jewish Christianity. What are they called?
The Black Jews.
The Black Jews, right? And I always say it's some truth, self-reflection, and truth in everything. I was just saying this when I said, talking to my girlfriend sometimes, saying bitch, self-reflect. You don't like saying bitch, but you say it to your girlfriends. Or your girlfriends tell you something you don't like or hurt your feelings. You want to pop back. Don't pop back. Go to sleep on it. Cocoon on it. Ball up. Like a seed getting ready to plant itself into the ground. Ball up, okay? Seed form. Sleep on it. You're going to get, when you wake, when you give it time, you find all the answers. So, go to sleep on that shit. But take me back, Martina, because I got lost. What did I say before?
You talking about the comedian?
Comedy. I hate this, you guys, that I forget everything. I told you how much my mind is overloaded in thought, like that another
well,
thought.
You're talking about
floods in.
I don't know, it's comedian and how
I said that.
if
Judaism. It's made
Judaism.
Up. Judaism. I'm Jewish. The Jewish temple. They have to say ish because they're not the real landowners. They're not the real righteous people of whatever you're representing. I'm always
And I
go
would
back
like
to
to
that.
say, if you are Jewish and you do not agree with Brandi is saying, explain to us what makes you the real
Yeah.
people.
Take me to it.
Like we are of
Curious.
learning. It's not to take offense. Like we want to know. Literally, you know, when people say ignorant
Here's the thing.
and not
Fuck
knowing,
your opinion. I'm about to see. This is what I said. Self-reflection. I need to stop. I battle between giving a fuck and that borderline. If I don't give a fuck most of the time, but when I do, it affects me and it's hindering my growth. So I need to not give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck what you think, because I only go off of what the land speaks and tells me. And I know just from seeing everything I see, just from seeing the destruction of our people, the communities that we live in, the schools, the markets that we're forced to shop at, how our cities are forced to look, this belief, this credit system, our default system in everything is to keep me at the bottom because I own everything. And it was stolen from me. And when something is stolen from you, in order to keep what's yours from you, I have to continue to steal from you.
and continue to lie.
I have to continue to lie to you. I have to continue to deceive you. And everything on the land is set up to deceive really only our people. Yes, every freaking religion has gone through strife and struggle and the Holocaust and all that. But you can even look at the Holocaust. What did we rise and get after whatever you want to say? I hate to just pinpoint slavery because that's only a small piece of it. Slavery came probably, hundreds of thousands of years later.
Yeah,
the land
looking at a
always
timeline.
belonged to me.
Yeah.
People always call me like, oh, you think you Latin? And I always have to laugh. Like, when I was growing up, my mom used to be on me about listening to Caribbean music, listening to Latin music. What is this shit you're playing in the house? And I've always felt it in my spirit, right? I even make jokes. Like, I don't get hit on by nothing but Latin dudes.
Like salsa and like, hey,
Everything. Da, 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 da. The workers like, hey.
Morena.
Even the ones that, are filthy dirty Latinas that just want their penis sucked behind like a wormhole. Like, dirty. This is what I get hit on by, And I always make joke and reference like, I am some Caribbean Latin spirit that infused some da, 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 da. I listen to Spanish music in the car.
Energy.
Yeah. They do. I feel the energy. I definitely feel it. But Martina has just let me talk like crazy. This is what happens at Martini and Brand.
I just let
It
rant.
It just goes. And rants are needed. I tell my mom when I call my mom talking about my sister. And my mom came up with this brilliant notion, her brilliant notion. You guys are a lot alike, self-reflection. I had to go back like, if I am like my sister, in what ways do I want to work on it to be better? And in what ways do I want to highlight that I like her strengths, right? So I did that.
You self-reflected. Try me a cookie. You self-reflected on
She
the strengths.
specifically said, don't eat and report. And
She
I'm
brought
such
these
an asthmatic.
hard-ass. Well, they're not hard.
I
They're
didn't
good.
buy them. Actually, Gloria gave them to me. She bought these almond cookies from Whole Foods. You guys have probably had them. They're about $5.99. Almond cookies 12-pack from Jacqueline's Bakery in Whole Foods. They don't remind you of an almond Asian cookie, for sure not. Not the ones that have the almond stuck in them. And that's what I thought the flavor was going to be like. These remind me that there's a hint of some type of extract in there. And it tastes like two extracts. Like it tastes like a kind of a berry or a
berry?
Like a berry extract with like a hint of like vanilla or something. Yep. I taste two different extracts.
It tastes like almond butter to me.
Does it? We got to look in the ingredients.
Yeah. Tastes like almond butter for sure.
Yeah, it's strong. Yeah, I don't even see almond butter in here.
I'm not a cook, so I don't know nothing
I mean,
about
I see
ingredients or
sugar,
flavor.
unbleached, unbrominated flour, wheat flour, malted barley, iron,
Okay, so I'm getting some
riboflavin,
iron.
folic acid, butter. There's a cream, but then it just says butter cream.
Well, see, the first 3 ingredients are what is most,
Sugar, unbleached, unbrominated flour, and wheat flour.
and you know, they put in this packaging that makes it look like it's fresh cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 3 ingredients
None of this
are like,
stuff is, self-reflection. Like, we're never going to save the earth if we continue to eat from plastic. It drives me insane that places like Whole Foods still serves everything inside of plastic. I want to get to a point, I was just talking about building a community, a colony of people that live amongst each other. Like, if I can go and buy my pears, my grapes, my strawberries from a barrel because it came in on the barrel and it's transported from a barrel, so what if there's spiders and bugs in it that's not colonized to my land? You need all this stuff to travel around to keep us healthy. This is why they created fake immunizations and all this shit, because we just don't live from the land anymore. Mm-hmm. If we continue to eat from plastic, if we don't self-reflect and realize, like, yo, this is not healthy, we're going to be doomed. We are doomed.
oh, I don't want to think Armageddon. It's like all those all those memes on Instagram right now of people like sword fighting at the gym. You haven't seen those? And like this guy's riding a bike and he's like sword fighting, and then somebody was doing sit-ups with a knife, like a sword, not even a knife, like a sword.
Have not seen it, but you know what that tells
man.
me? That when these movies come out, like The Purge,
Mm-hmm.
it's because they're preparing you for what the next step is going to be in this Truman Show. That's why they're in the gym exercising, practicing with swords, because they're going to have to cut your ass up soon.
Yeah, Armageddon.
Yeah.
So while we sitting here laughing at him, we need to be right there with him, like
Right there. That's why I follow old dude on Instagram. I'm going to plug him the next time because I don't know his full name. I always mutilate people's names on Instagram. I read what I think I want to see.
It's Bob. She's like, boob.
It is Bob. B-O-B. I said Bob. She doesn't
I'm
know.
just saying you mutilate people's names. So something as simple as Bob. You're like,
Oh, no.
Bob.
I'm not that bad. Martina is trying to get it off today. Okay? Clearly, she has something out for me today. But, fuck, boob. Like, no. I did say pee-pee for Pippi, but come on now, that shit can't be pee-pee. The fuck? How I know it's really Pippi? Because you tell me it's just like rodeo and rodeo. You gave the white people rodeo, and then you gave the people rodeo with the same spelling. That's some bullshit. What is it up the street? It's rodeo. So then this is rodeo and La Cienega, not rodeo.
Yeah,
No.
all of a sudden when it hits Los Angeles,
Yeah,
like real
it's
Los
rodeo.
Angeles, it's real.
Yeah, y'all in the rodeo. You just twirling ropes with horses and
Like,
shit.
no,
No,
it's
we're
been
still on
rodeo.
rodeo. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's funny.
They tried to drop off the drive and everything. Like, what? If you don't stop playing.
Like, it's the same goddamn street.
Same shit.
I know how to look at a map.
Shit, same. See? The Truman Show.
That's so fun. Yeah, a lot about self-reflection today on Martini at Brandi.
So tell me, what brought you to?
What brought me to self-realization, just even kind of starting this journey, was my divorce from my 10-year relationship. How long were we married? We were probably together for over maybe 11 years, and then married for probably 7, because 6 years. We were married for 6, together for about 4 before that, so 10 years total. And I learned more in my divorce than I did in my marriage. And I know that's probably controversial to say, because it's like, oh, when you're married, you're supposed to learn so much. But getting divorced taught me a lot of self-realization, a lot of the areas that I went wrong in the marriage, things that I probably could have did better in the marriage. obviously at the time I thought I was giving 100% and being supportive, but then in retrospect, maybe that wasn't always the best approach, but I only did my best that I knew at the time. So, and that's really all I can do. My intentions being, I'm not a practicing Muslim, but I am Muslim, and I've learned a lot from Islam. And one of the biggest things that I've learned from Islam is intention. I always look at people based on their intention. So even though, like, let's just say a person who came at me was kind of sideways and like, yo, you sound crazy, but what was their intention? Was their intention to be hurtful, or was their intention to...
Their best way to teach me a lesson. Mm-hmm. Their best way, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta... I'm not gonna tell people what they need to do. For me, what I do is I base my judgment on a situation on the intention of the person.
Okay.
Yeah. So self-reflection, lessons learned from my separation is a whole another podcast topic, but definitely under the umbrella of self-reflection. Like, I learned a lot. I realized, like, maybe that wasn't the best approach. Maybe I could have did it this way. I know for sure. I don't know for sure, but I feel that a lot of the opinions that come at me are because of the opinions that I threw at the other person.
Yeah.
So that other person feels entitled to throw opinions at me.
Growing up is a trap. Getting wiser is growth.
Can you say it again?
Growing up is a trap. Getting wiser is growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just it. That's what I'm saying. When you self-reflect, you grow wiser to the notion of seeing someone else's views. It is about fuck what other people think. Maybe about how you should conduct yourself. But not fuck how other people think on what you're giving off, per se. In your relationship, you learn more because when you were in that relationship, you were probably bandaging everything, fixing, nailing. You were Wreck-It Ralph with Fix-It Felix. You were going around with a golden hammer,
fixing
everything, and being your friend on both ends. I love your ex-husband. He is family. It's funny. Mm-hmm. I always make the joke, when you break up with people, everybody has to break up with them. Fuck that. I broke up with them, you gotta break up with them. Mm-hmm. So we all break up. But I would still look out for him if he called, if he needed me, if he wanted to talk, of course.
Yeah, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
He was calling,
major.
She was such a good listener.
I even became part of the problem because, you have to play neutral and people want you to pick sides. I'm not a side picker. That's probably another thing why I feel like we're misunderstood. Even me, misunderstood as a person, is because I ain't gonna pick sides. Because I'm a realm of many things. I could be vicious. I could be kind. I can be sweet. I can be passive. I can be understanding. I could bring terror. You know what I mean? So it's many sides of things. But yeah, in the beginning, whew.
So to kind of wrap up my thoughts and feelings about self-reflection is that it took a major life experience, building a life, bringing life into this world, to realize what I needed to change, how I needed to grow, the woman that I need to be for myself and for my children. And that is the biggest takeaway, I would say, for me in self-reflection, is just being honest and real with myself.
Yeah.
And not what other people feel like my growth needs to be.
Agreed. I think about sometimes what other people think about in different aspects. But I say in everything. It doesn't matter if you were an asshole in traffic that day, if you snap back at somebody giving you a food order, if you did something with the kids, said something to your man. For me, every day is a day to self-reflect. Every time I close my eyes, I try to think about a collection of all the things that happened to me. How I reacted, what I said, if I hurt somebody's feelings, if I got in an argument with my mom, conversations with Ian, situations with the kids. I think about this stuff heavy. And every night that I close my eyes, I self-reflect. And I always try to wake up the next day. How can I do something differently? What did I learn? How to fix something? So, reasons, seasons, and lifetimes, I stand by it. No matter if it's a divorce, it was for a reason. If it's the end of a friendship, it may be a season. If it's a new person coming in and you have to learn how to hold back with you, I have to learn all the time, like how to work with another person who has a different view, a different aspect, a different take on life, coming together, creating that balance to create magic. I learned that in you being my friend. I have to self-reflect a lot of times from a lot of our meetings. So for me, it's every day.
That's what I love about my oldest son's name, Tayao. It literally means a new day.
A new day.
And for my son who's a Gemini, he needs that.
He needs a new day.
A new day. Every day is a new day.
That's beautiful because it is. It is. That's why you have to be so thankful. That's why I like looking at your children and understanding, like, yo, we do overthink shit. Yo, when people do tell me, like, B, you're so fucking literal. B, like, oh, here goes Brandi. She's about to go deep. She's in the left hand. You know, I always have to come back like, okay, I dove off the cliff. It's cool.
Let's find a way to reel back in.
Reel back in and make it work for this situation. Because I can be all those many collections of things, just like I can be all those many collections of personalities. Am I self-reflecting from each day for growth? Not age. Fuck age. Growing up is a trap. That shit is a trap. You want to grow wiser. I always say, you can never determine how old a tree is until you chop it down. Right? Chopping down the tree is the end of that tree's life cycle. I've never seen a tree be chopped down
and regrow.
I've never seen it. It stays a stump. So that could be the end of, I tell Marley constantly, like, death is a part of life. You cannot live until you die. It's all a cycle. You have to be regenerated, right? So in being regenerated, you have to self-reflect.
Yeah. I mean, we're in this, what I'm learning in my own life of why are we here? We are here to learn, to evolve, to grow. If we just stay stagnant in the same place, are we really living our best life?
No.
As much as people like to throw around, I'm living my best life. Are you learning? Yeah, he's amazing for that. But living our best life is definitely far beyond traveling and taking pictures about us sitting somewhere. Like, what are we learning from being in China? What are we taking away from that culture that we can improve and
not
share
even what
with
are we
somebody
taking
else?
away? What are we coming back to?
Yeah. It's all
because I already told you the land is ours. What are we coming back to when you get the opportunity to go to these places?
Yeah.
What are you bringing back? What are you bringing that's going to heal, that's going to help, that's going to aid, that's going to uplift, that's going to regenerate?
The bigger picture.
The bigger scheme of things.
Yeah.
If you're not self-reflecting.
And maybe the bigger picture is just you and your own personal growth. Because it could just be that. Maybe the bigger picture is your own personal growth and not necessarily purposely trying to impact somebody else's life. Because if you are doing great, if you are living to your true self, others will see that. You don't even need to say nothing. You don't need to say nothing because people will feel it and people will see it. Like, yo, that bitch is doing it. Yeah. Well, with that note, we want to thank you for listening to Martini at Brands.
Always. This is Brandi
And Martini.
And
you can follow
a
us.
collection we make up, Martini at Brands.
Yes, in the collection we make, Martini at Brands. And you can follow me on Instagram at Tama_Mama.
I am Brand 33. I'll repeat that. I am Brand 33 because I'm always a brand. Drop off that I. You have a brand. Watch out.
I am Brand 33 on Instagram.
On Insta. Same thing on Facebook. But people, I'm not sold on Facebook yet.
No,
I'm not.
We have a Facebook too, but Instagram
do.
seems to be our thing.
Where it's at. Hit me up. You can inbox us for anything.
Here in our DM.
We are currently in the phases of working out where we'll be for Street Team. For March, we will be out just creating the momentum around. Follow us and leading us into April. Check us out for events. We won't plug any yet because we're still searching for venues.
We're searching for venues for April 420. We have
420.
a giveaway coming up on National Napping Day.
National Napping Day. Naps are essential.
You just said you sleep to self-reflect.
I do. I sleep for everything. If Brandi gets overwhelmed, bombarded, bamboozled, the great shakedown, you can always guarantee that she's sleeping shortly after a major life encounter. Shortly after. Naps are essential. So 3/11, National Napping Day. Definitely look out for Martini at Brands National. We about to start making up our own shit.
We don't have our own National Day.
Yes.
Take it to
So
Congress.
it will definitely be good to listen. Sorry, guys. I wheeze a lot on the podcast. This just shows you that the struggle is real. If you hear me now, I'm wheezing. In learning voice control, this is something I'm working on. I would love to condition. I hate the way I sound recorded, but everything takes practice. So I'm coming out here ass exposed.
As a business woman, we got to take risks.
Gotta take risks. So I'm coming out here ass exposed, not liking the way I sound recorded, not liking the fact that I'm always wheezing, but it's my life. So I am an asthmatic.
Yes.
If you are a pulmonologist and you happen to listen on, give me some natural remedies. Give me back to the land and get my shit right. Okay?
Tell her what she needs to do. Ayahuasca.
Thank you. But thank you for listening. Make sure you add us. Always tell a friend to follow us. Keep out for our Street Team. Stay engaged. And remember, if you are going to let life fuck you, keep a what, Martina?
A clean mouth.
And wrap it up.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Martini at Brands. Bye.
Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.